Okay, we're gonna get started. So, currently we do not have a quorum, so our first two items on the agenda are action items. It's approving the order of the agenda and the minutes of the August 20th meeting. We don't have a quorum, so we can't take action on those items. So we are going to skip directly to the staff report, and normally Sunny is here, but he's also out, short number, so we have Betsy filling in for Sunny today.
Yeah, and since we haven't approved the agenda, we can go in any order we like.
We could.
Okay, so Cheryl is hiring for a new library associate, one for Maine, and Lori is hiring for a new library associate, one for the branches. And those are both from people that are leaving. Applications are being reviewed and interviews are being scheduled. That's new since we sent out the packet. The North Dakota Library Association Annual Conference, or NDLA, is coming up at the end of the month, next week, and it's being held in West Fargo this year, so that's nice. We're sending a bunch of people, and we have a handful of people that are actually presenting. For programming, I'm just going to read a couple of these. The rest are in your packet, and for anyone listening at home, all of our events are on our website, fargolibrary.org. We have
Quorum.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. I'm going to continue. Children's has the 2019 International Week of the Deaf American Sign Language Story Time, and this is going to follow our story times September 23rd, 24th, and 25th, and we will have someone doing sign language at all of those. You don't have to be registered for the fall story time. You can come to those even if you aren't registered for that series. The next one is Libraries Dance. That's with Jasper's School of Dance and FM Ballet. It's a fun-filled evening once a month at the main library, and we will listen to a story and then spend time moving and stretching while getting basic techniques and lessons on different types of dance. This is a series and no registration is required. Children ages 3 to 12 are welcome to come to that. For teen events, we have the Oreo Cookie Taste Test Challenge. And I think I could probably get away with being a teen for this if I wanted to go. We had one today and then one on the 19th at Northport at 4. They'll get to taste different Oreo flavors, so that should be really fun. And then teens also have the leather bookmarks. They'll get to design their own stamped leather bookmark. Pre-registration is required for that. It's September 24th at 4 p.m. at Carlson and September 26th at 4 p.m. at Northport. For adults, tonight we have Guarding the Northland, the 119th Wing North Dakota Air National Guard presentation, and that is part of the One Book, One Community events. And then we also have on October 6th, the Jazz into Fall series starts. Those series are every Sunday in October, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. It starts with the Max Junk Quartet on the 6th of October. And then some past events for all ages. We had 689 people that we engaged with offsite, and then our spacesuit program was about 100 people. So that was a couple big ones for us. And then our social media is in our packet, and then as always you can find our social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest.
Questions for Betsy? Betsy, did you try on the spacesuit? Were you one of those 100 people that, no?
No, we didn't
didn't
actually
have all
have it for
100
the public to try on. We had a green screen behind it and you could take pictures with it.
Oh, okay.
We did have staff that tried it in and walked around the library and took pictures with books and did moonwalking. It was pretty funny.
Okay. Well, thank you, Betsy. Okay, so we do have a quorum, so the first action item is to approve the order of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. Second, and then is the minutes of the August 20th meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, okay, so those two action items are approved. We did the staff report. Let's go on to the director's report.
Yes, per your packet, you can see there, one important item down there on goal 5, met with Image Group Architects. One of the major things, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I just want to mention it again because I'll be bringing it to the board as we get more details ironed out in terms of cost. There's an area upstairs at Main where currently print reference and microfilm readers, and based on usage, that is, obviously considerably underutilized space, and it's also like front row space for that area. And the idea, what we've been working with them is to identify, because if it's really interesting, if you go up there and you look into the quiet study room, you notice that the chairs are kind of in a kind of a communal, they have the study tables, which are primarily the spaces, the items used in there. But there's also like the setup of comfortable chairs in kind of a communal formation. It just seemed to me that, okay, there's two major things that we want. Obviously, we have this underutilized space. If we want to have a communal space, then we got to let the people commune. You know what I mean? And also, based on really what we looked at in terms of strategic planning, one of the goals was marketing. And what can we do within that space to upsell our print collections, various other collections, maybe special collections, this kind of thing. So kind of bringing those thought processes together and then sitting down with Image Group. So they're putting some plans together. Obviously, kind of want to put together some costs going forward, and then bring a proposal to the board in terms of kind of a funding going forward. So it's kind of exciting because, we can't grow more space, but we can certainly utilize what we have better. Beyond that, you see a lot of sodbuster meetings. As you can see, there's a lot of activity out there. The sun is shining. The ground is relatively dry. They're really busy. The actual installation of the sculpture is scheduled for the 25th. And then looking at some event somewhere in the middle or late October, because there's a lot of landscaping, obviously, and everything else that has to happen around there. It's been interesting. They've put in special soils and all this different stuff, and while they're doing that, they're pounding it down. They have this little thing that draws, and the whole building just kind of, And it's interesting that the southern part, you'd think that closer to it would be impacted more, but where Betsy and I are sitting, you're just sitting in your office, just kind of like helping you digest your food, So it'll be nice when it's done. Just having fun with the neighbors as we go. And the exciting thing is there is progress, at least I've been told, in terms of parking. They think anything can change. That the city center parking that was designated originally for city vehicles will be available after the 1st of October, which then will obviously open up the civic lot even more. You can see they opened up the far southeastern lot for our people and some other city vehicles. So, and again, we're hammering home as part of our PR for our programs where the parking is, and hopefully things will get better. Then also completing the grading and the installation of a parking on the west side of this building before the end of the year. So that's kind of where that's, at least that's, I can only tell you what I'm told. So that's what I've been told.
Okay. Any questions so far for Tim? No. Okay, let's keep moving.
Right, looking at usage, just a little over 37,000 registered patrons. You can see the attendance down a bit at Carlson. Not entirely know why. Program attendance, both outreach and in-house, you can see that there. Year-to-date, in terms of that, is overall programming attendance is up 23% over last year, which again was in 2018 was a record year, so we're excited about that. Volunteer hours, Pam has been short a couple folks, or three, and that she's got a couple more people just coming online to make that up. I think since we've been able to increase her by a full-time position, it's really helped a lot, given that the inevitable ebb and flow of volunteer pools that happen. She feels comfortable, and I've been following up with her in that regard. Internet sign-up, down a little bit last year, about 14%. Electronic activity, webpage hits, heavy, we're up. A lot of work that the folks have been doing with IT is paying off, I believe, in terms of that. In terms of overall circulation,
I got a question quick about the library use.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the outreach department, it looks like there's been huge growth with outreach. Is that we just have more staff, or why is that number so large?
I would say, right, there's more staff being devoted, as, again, per the strategic plan, one of the things was identified for getting us out and increased profile in the community. Obviously, part of that is the book bike. It's kind of having a, we call it community engagement, actually. They have it outreach, but we call it, and so we have a committee that works on that, identifies, we've developed tools for scheduling. So it's really the whole group effort to really have a real succinct approach to this, i.e. identifying things in the community that we can attend and really promote the library, identifying staff, making it a priority for professional staff, librarians, that's just part of their expectation, their job, that they get out and do those things. Obviously, just the energy of the staff to want to do this. They're really energized by this, and I think, Betsy's talking about before that they were at the NDSU union. It's really trying to diversify where we are, and I think it's kind of an organizational-wide kind of situation. I would say it's the concerted effort by everyone involved. I just try and find them resources and give them resources so they can get out there and do that. So I would say it's kind of an organizational focus based on the strategic plan.
Well, good. Okay, on to circulation.
Except for volunteer hours.
That's, volunteer, again, when we're talking about outreach programming, we're talking about library staff taking out. Now, outreach or volunteers, that's the number of folks that Pam has that take items out to like retirement communities and this kind of thing. And again, that always ebbs and flows based on the availability of volunteers. We keep them as much as we can. We have some long-term ones, but, folks stick around for 8 months, 12 months, 15 months. And they ask a lot of those people. I mean, it's wonderful that we get the folks that we do for as long as we do, given that, it's physically taking bags of canvas books from the library out to a remote situation, some winter, winter, spring, fall, when it's one big winter or whatever. It's quite a commitment. So it is a lot for volunteers, and we do very well, but it does ebb and flow based on that.
So Carlos, they're looking for volunteers if you're interested.
Yeah, I see that down 31%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, any other questions on library use? No. Okay, let's go to circulation.
Yeah, again, per your packet, you can see there, up just a little bit over last year's August numbers. And year-to-date, we're topping off last year, which was a record year as well, with up 2.56 over last year, so that it's exciting. Obviously, strength in terms of print, strength in terms of electronic. Physical media continues to find its basement gradually. But it still remains a high turnover item, especially with the DVDs. So, we'll keep plugging away at it, and it's one of those things as libraries, even though they're still the have-nots that, don't have the money to expend on all the streaming situations and would rather have the physical copy. So obviously, we're looking at that going forward.
What are the Zinio checkouts?
Zinio?
Yeah.
Zinio is essentially electronic magazines. It's the full edition electronically, and you basically can go on there with your library card, look at the universe of titles that are in there, find the one, check it out, and you have it. It doesn't get checked back in or disappear because they want you to read it and look at all the advertisements. So, it was big at first. It went down for a little while. Now we're seeing kind of a rebound from it. So it's basically e-magazines, full, is like, you just look through it electronically, but you have the full edition.
In adult paperbacks, it looks like at all three libraries that those have taken a big jump.
The big thing there is they've changed the way they count them. Before, it was just like they sent out, it was pretty loose on how they did that. Now they're trying to keep better inventory and say that the inventory is X. Now, at this point and at this point, X are gone.
I'm not sure I'm following.
In other words, instead of just saying, oh, I put 5 out today. Well, what was the total out there? I don't know. Or of saying, okay, at this point in time, there was X, I put X amount out there, so the total inventory available, in other words, we just have them on racks. It's kind of come and take them.
You don't have to check them out?
No, you just take them.
Oh, so it's like free books that people can.
Right. And people bring, it's amazing, they'll bring in like, oh, here, I took one, but I already read these 5, so you can have, so it's never like, oh my God, somebody took all the paperbacks, we don't have any paperbacks. So it's like, it's kind of this symbiotic kind of situation. But we're trying to, the folks are trying to do a better job of having kind of a running inventory to knowing what's coming and what's going.
Sure. Where's that located?
Maine, it's on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
At Carlson, by the Friends book sale.
Okay.
And the Northport, yeah, it's right up
So
front.
if you have books to donate, you should just drop them off at my grandma gave me some books that have been sitting in my trunk for most of the summer now. So do we just, because what goes to the Friends for the book sale and what goes to this paperback thing?
I trust my folks out there. Generally, multi-box donations, those go strictly to the Friends. And I guess the word is I just got an email today that the Friends are up to their gills
Oh, on books.
in books because they're getting ready for a book sale and they're
Okay.
just like,
Okay.
So hold
Kind of, we
off.
just donated it and you guys decide where it goes.
we generally just set it aside for the Friends at that point.
Okay.
So, you could drop them off, and we just,
Okay.
The Friends do anything special for, I don't know, the elderly or anything? It just came to me because I have a copy of the enlarged print version of Don Quixote, which is like 5 volumes. So maybe I should go and donate it to a senior home or something. But
you could email Pam Straight,
yeah,
and she might know.
I don't know what to do with it.
There might be somebody out there that would,
Come on.
in places that would,
Yeah,
Well,
the Friends would try and sell it, so.
okay. Maybe I'll bring it by all 5 of them.
okay. So any questions on circulation? No. Okay. Let's move on to the financials.
Yes, starting out with donations, we received July, we received, oh, I should have August, or maybe in August we didn't receive any donations? What am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong one, folks. Oh, here we go, yes. So I guess in August, we didn't receive anything in terms of donations. You can see there, one is annotated, one isn't. Looking at, in terms of the expenditures, the $249, $83 of that was expended for that anonymous Northport donation, and $165.76 was the Friends 2018 outreach donation, which was to purchase magnifying devices for outreach patrons. The next one is the $391, and $120 of that and 32 cents again, was the anonymous Northport donation. And $270.95 of that was the Friends donation for the Northern Narratives donation project. And I guess the first night they had their Northern Narratives things, they sold out every copy.
Wow.
They haven't done that before, so that was good. And then the $214 was from the Women's Club for the purchase of North Dakota authors. So they expended $214 of that for buying authors. And the $30 was from the Friends for the Way to Go staff acknowledgement gifts that we have on a monthly basis at our all staff meetings. So that's kind of the expenditure there.
Okay. On to the expense
Overall budget,
overall budget.
yeah, looking through 67% of the total year lapsed. We're right around just under 64% expended. And we've begun to really project out through the end of the year, which we anticipate some monies that we can utilize, and we're identifying needs as we go, so we feel good about that. And revenues are what they are, right around a little over 37,000 through the end of August.
Okay. Any questions for Tim on that? No. Okay. Well, thanks, Tim.
Sure.
Okay, the Friends of the Library report. We do not have any Friends of the Library here.
I just say thank you.
But
say
thank
thank you
you.
to the
We always
Friends.
want to say thank you to the Friends because they're always helping us. Big supporters of the library here, so we appreciate them. So thank you, Friends at Large. We don't have any unfinished business. We do have a material concern, which is an action item to address in new business today. Normally there's
Jason,
Jason, yeah.
I think I can cover this one.
You're gonna, okay,
So I
Tim's
can
gonna
be okay.
tackle the material concern that we have before us, which is another.
Sure. You see the statement of concern filled out in front of you. Based on the title Siege, Trump Under Fire by Michael Wolff. You can see the reasonings as identified by the individual complaining.
Do you just want to elaborate those for the viewers at home?
Sure. What it is simply that book teaches hate of a sitting president and has false allegations of the president. Book is inappropriate. Any book degrading any president is inappropriate. And making mention that the library gets taxpayer funding and is under budget to educate, not to teach hate for a current serving president. Then subsequent to that, obviously, and you remember last month we walked through the whole process, the process for statement of concern, and just changed a little bit of language to the concern committee, but we followed that, obviously. And then you see there as the basically identifying that there's 800 plus libraries. I'll just read it. The Statement of Concern Committee recommends the retention of Siege, Trump Under Fire by Michael Wolff within the Fargo Public Library nonfiction collection. Siege is a newly released nonfiction title about President Trump. The book is a popular release currently held in over 800 libraries, including most public libraries. The book has also been reviewed by many professional sources such as the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Publishers Weekly. The author, Michael Wolff, authored the 2018 book Fire and Fury, one of the most popular books of last year. The Statement of Concern argues that the book degrading a president is inappropriate. The Library Bill of Rights, which has been adopted as policy for the Fargo Public Library, states libraries should provide materials and information presenting all points of view on current and historical issues. Materials should not be prescribed or removed because of partisan or doctrinal disapproval. As a library, we do not remove material from our collection because people may disagree with the political views presented. As a library, we believe in freedom of speech and provide information from all points of view. The Statement of Concern Committee finds no reason to remove the item from our collection and reaffirms its recommendation to retain Siege, Trump Under Fire by Michael Wolff within the Fargo Public Library nonfiction collection. Supporting factors for the recommendation: number 1, Library Bill of Rights and Intellectual Freedom Statement. Number 2, Access to Materials Policy. 3, Collection Development Policy, General Selection Criteria. I, Public Demand and Interest. 2, Timeliness of information and/or significance of the subject. 3, Evaluations in professionally recognized critical review sources. 4, Authority and competence of the author and/or reputation of the standing of the publisher. 5, Effective expression. 6, Contribution to diversity or breadth of collection. So what's coming to the board then is to act on the recommendation of the Statement of Concern Committee in regards to Siege, Trump Under Fire by Michael Wolff.
All right, what
So
do,
we need a motion to support the
Correct.
recommendation? Okay, move to support.
Second.
discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, so we are keeping the book. So, and I think that was a well-written statement of, statement of concern by the committee, recommendation. Thanks for that. So, okay, so the next item is public comment, another meeting, another no public here, one day though. And, okay, so our next regular meeting is October 15th, and we are adjourned.